Hey guys and gals, it's me, Supergirl. Huh? What is this?
It is I, the Interruptor, who shot you with a special dart that gave you a special toxin. If you didn't finish your review by midnight, then you will vomit for a total of 10 minutes non-stop. So, get to it.
Oh. Okay.
Is something wrong?
I mean, it's not that impossible. I mean, you said midnight. I think it's pretty reasonable.
Oh, well, let the pressure consume you. Ooh.
Okay. Anyways, hey guys and gals, it's me, Supergirl Rocket, and welcome to my review of Supergirl 2026. So, without further ado, let's get into it.
3, 2, 1.
Ready for liftoff, super dang rocket. Get ready for it.
So sit back and relax in your pajama pants, just like old times. Anyways, just to make it clear, this is a non-spoiler review all the way. No matter what specific detail we go in this review, we're gonna keep it vague so that you can still watch the movie without knowing any specific detail. So there you go. So, we're not gonna need this. Yeah, Leinad, it won't be necessary. You can put it away. All right then. You didn't have to put it too aggressively. But anyways, let's start off with the actual plot of this film. So this story is about Supergirl, who is currently drinking her sorrows away because of the death of her family and her home. And she suddenly gets intertwined with a conflict between this other person who lost her family and her home recently, named Ruthie. And this leads to a very fun, interesting conflict because, of course, Ruthie wants to get revenge on the person who did all that loss to her. But of course, that's bad. So Supergirl has to figure out a way to have her stop doing that. But at the same time, she herself is not making life outside of her revenge look so, let's just say, glamorous. So it's a fun conflict there. And the personalities of these two characters really help enhance that because it really like kind of in a way clash well because you have Supergirl who's kind of just like whatever with everything, and Ruthie is annoyed by that, and Supergirl herself is annoyed with how Ruthie is so committed to everything. So it really helps blend well because of how opposite the two are. Of course, to make sure the personalities enhance well, the acting is pretty good. Of course, especially with our main character, Supergirl, played by Millie Alcock. I'm sure a lot of people already mentioned this already. She is pretty good and wonderful as Supergirl, and I'm excited to see her in future projects like Man of Tomorrow, the Superman sequel, and of course further beyond in the DCU. Speaking of props, I do really like one little symbolic prop that they have. They kind of really emphasize the sword that Ruthie has, and it makes sense because, you know, it's a family sword, and you know, usually when you want to take revenge and kill somebody, you can do that with a sword. So it just kind of emphasizes Ruthie's whole drive and personality well. So I'm glad that they really like emphasize that to show that. It's really nice. It's just a fun, nice detail that I really like.
And hey, come on, it's a sword, and swords are cool.
Wait, Leinad, where did you get that sword?
Yeah, pretty cool, right? I found this from upstairs.
Leinad, I don't think you should touch that. I think that belongs to part of my family or something like that.
Oh shoot, really? Daniel lore.
Okay, fun throwback aside, I suggest you put it back now, Leinad.
Okay, fine.
Anyways, speaking of lore building, technically, I do really like that this movie really showcases life in space because you don't normally see that in sci-fi movies because they usually focus on what conflict is going on in the story, but they did it in a way that feels natural and doesn't interrupt the pace. It doesn't feel like, they stop to explain certain things about how certain things work in this universe. okay, look, I know that I did that in local blast and news style, but there's a reason why that's called a video special and not, well, a film in any way. Another thing relating to lore building that I want to talk about is the flashbacks to Supergirl's origin, because of course this ain't Batman or Superman where we know the story like a billion times. You kind of have to do that. And I really like how they place the flashbacks, because it can be tricky, because you have to make sure the flashbacks make sense in the context of the story happening in present day. And it also has to transition well into the flashback. And yeah, Supergirl kind of did this kind of transition to the flashbacks and make it thematic really well.
You know, the flashbacks of Krypton kind of remind me of this place I used to visit. It's I think it's called like Planet Elegance. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's interesting to know.
Yeah, it's a very interesting place. Unfortunately, only a few seconds when I entered the place, I kind of got tackled because I didn't follow the dress code of, looking elegant.
Oh. Huh. Anyways, next up I want to talk about Krem, the main villain of this movie. And there's a very interesting thing that I like about him that not people really, focus on, and that's I guess the bizarre nature of how he acts, because yeah, he technically is supposed to be a threatening force. It technically feels like it in some regard, but there's so much bizarre things that he does in terms of how he acts, how he talks, and what he does is, I don't know, there's a certain charm to it. And it does actually kind of make sense in the context of how this film kind of treats its style, which I'll get into later on. But yeah, it ain't the most interesting villain in the world. This ain't Loki or even something like maybe Ultron, if you want to go a bit more below that. But still, I feel like they kind of made me remember that villain in a different way, which you gotta appreciate. Hey, Interrupter, just because I like his bizarre nature doesn't get you the right to eat my cereal.
Oh, come on, can you really blame me? You know what happened to me during the Batman review. I'm easy to influence when it comes to movie villains.
Hello, it is I, the Interruptor, your little arch nemesis, Super Gay Rocket, with a brand new look inspired by the Riddler.
Oh yeah, I probably should have known that you would do something like this. Anyways, now I want to talk about the style and tone of this film, because I do hear a lot of people say that it's very similar to the Guardians of the Galaxy, but I don't think it is trying to like copy that style one to one. It just has similar elements. It's a similar situation to what happened with Thor Ragnarok a while back. Because the thing is, the actual main style and tone of this film is basically the feeling of whatever. In this movie, they really emphasize that Supergirl is basically kind of letting loose a lot. AKA, this is all nonsense, but whatever. And I feel like the film is trying to follow in the footsteps with their own style and tone, and that can be included with a lot of the stuff that I mentioned previously, like the space life being, yeah, whatever, this is just how it is. Or of course the villain acting bizarrely as he is, but that's just how things are. Yeah, so I don't know, it's kind of fun. And the comedy also reflects that as well, because unlike Guardians, where they kind of mostly have the comedy in their own little area, like example, the car scene with Nebula and Guardians 3, they take time in the movie to just do fun comedy, but here it's just kind of fast yet natural. It's like, yeah, that happened, whatever. So it makes sense for them to go for this fun style. But speaking of the fun style, let's go into Lobo, which of course is something that a lot of people wanted to see for a long time, that being Jason Momoa as Lobo. And yeah, he did a pretty good job. I mean, it was worth the wait, I guess, for all these years to finally get the role that he was meant to play. And yeah, it was good. He had some great moments, but I do feel like it doesn't really add that much to the plot. I mean, I guess it makes sense what they were trying to do. They were trying to, add more tension to if Ruti is going to be a murderer or not, from how Jason Momoa talks and acts with Ruti, especially during the time later on in the film. So yeah, it makes sense, but I feel like if you remove him from the plot, you wouldn't really lose anything, which is a bit unfortunate. But hey, it's great to finally have Jason Momoa as Lobo. And I also really like some of the action sequences in this film. They're really great and they can be very creative with it as well because again, this is the first time we see a super person in space. And of course, when you're in space, the yellow sun ain't there all the time. So they really play around with that with the different suns, like the red sun and other suns that are out there in the universe. But I mean, there are some parts of the movie where the way they shot the action sequences is a little bit odd, but most of the time it's enjoyable to watch. But of course, there's this one part in the film. Don't worry, this is a non-spoiler review. Gotta emphasize that again. But in the final battle, there is this song that they use that I'm sure a lot of people already mentioned how a bit jarring it is. Who knows? Maybe there was a reason behind this, behind the scenes that we don't know about. But unfortunately, according to the audience, as well as myself, it's very jarring. I wish they have a different song, but oh well. The actual action sequence behind it is pretty good. Okay, now I gotta really emphasize that don't worry, this is a non-spoiler review. So no matter what, we're not gonna talk about anything spoilerish. We're just gonna make it vague so that you can watch the movie normally and fine. So now we're gonna be actually talking about the ending, but again, we're gonna make it vague for you guys.
So yeah, we're really not gonna be using this, huh?
Don't worry, Leinad, I'm gonna be fine. Don't throw it. Just put it down.
Sorry. I'll clean it up.
Okay, I know that Jonathan, as you know, in the context of what happened to him at the ending, was a bit surprising. But yet again, considering the type of person that Jonathan is, it just makes sense for him to be involved in an event like that. But of course, that also leads the, the involvement of Bill in that event into question. But yet again, I understand maybe that Bill needed to be there to ensure completely that the future afterwards, after the situation is a lot safer. So maybe that's kind of the intention with Bill being involved with that event. But yet again, I know that it was very surprising and kind of to a shock to everybody considering what they were talking about in terms of this story. But again, it is justified in a way. But you're gonna have to think a little bit to make sure does this make sense? Yes, it makes sense. But yeah, maybe it could have done better so that it kind of eased people's minds a little bit more quicker. But yet again, maybe this is intentional, considering the fact that Supergirl is going to be in Man of Tomorrow and probably have a substantial role according to sources. Who knows? Considering that this event is kind of contrasting to an event that happened in Superman 2025. Who knows? Maybe there's a plan for the story of Kara Zor-El that we're not aware of yet.
How are Clark and Kara doing? Is the relationship what we've seen before? Has it progressed?
I'm not gonna tell you things.
Oh.
Leinad, she literally didn't say anything. Why are you? Dude, come on. There's nothing to this.
Oh.
Leinad, zip it.
Okay, I'll stop. But it could be something. Just saying, or maybe not. Maybe you're right. But it could be.
So yes, this movie does has its flaws, but it's still a good story that they were trying to tell at the end of the day. And for the most part, they did it well in how they presented the story to us. Yeah, it ain't a movie it's like, oh, this is a good movie, but no, none of these faults really affect my enjoyment of what they're trying to tell. This ain't The Amazing Spider-Man 2, or if you want to be thematic on this end, I guess this ain't like Supergirl 1984. And yeah, but this is definitely not something like The Dark Knight or Superman 2025 if you want to be, thematic on that end too. But it's still a good story and it's good on its own merits. And a world where, movie making can be very tricky in a lot of different areas, especially when it comes to superhero movies. Sometimes you gotta appreciate just a good story just being told without any crazy faults. So it is pretty easy to say whatever you want if you're just talking in front of a corner of your house. but it's a completely different story when you're actually out there in the field. So, yeah, to wrap up my opinions, this was pretty fun. I enjoy my time with this movie. It's a pretty nice experience. And again, I'm excited to see Millie Alcock as Supergirl in the near future. Like, how can you consider this near? It's next year, unless there's a cameo we don't know about. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
A lot of great stuff comes from Australia. Millie Alcock, Ty the Tasmanian Tiger, High Five, this boomerang that Daniel's grandparents got when they visit Australia. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I agree. Anyways, alright guys and girls, thank you for watching this video. I hope you...
Whoa, wait. You're done?
Yeah, again, it's not really that difficult to finish this by midnight.
Huh. Wow. Yeah, that's a little bit of an error in my scheme. Well, I'm not gonna let you finish your outro and, yeah, ruin the scheme I have today, so... Time for the backup plan.
Oh wait, what?
Oh, relax. I'm not gonna stab you with it. I'm gonna slap you with it. It's more...
Yeah, I know, regardless,
fun.
but just don't do that.
Whoa, hang on here. You can't do that. You mess with Daniel, you mess with me. So come on, it's been a while since I tussle like this.
Oh yeah? Bring it on.
Alright, taste the power of an Australian boomerang. Huh?
You're my favorite person, you're my number one, you're my number one. Whenever we're together, we're having fun, we're always having fun. Cause you're my number one, you're my number one. Everything we do, it's always exciting, it's more fun with two. We'll never be apart, whatever we do. There'll always be music, it's just me and you. I'm always in your heart. Let's go on an adventure. Let's go outside and play. Doesn't matter if it's hot or cold or raining today. Cause you're my number one. You're my number. You're my favorite person. You're my number
Daniel?
one.
Oh, yeah, it's just that I'm gonna miss this, you know. I'm gonna miss it a lot. Pretty ironic that you're wearing that hat, huh? Yeah, I'm gonna miss it too. Anyways, I think you should get on with that outro before, you know, midnight and, you know, you start to vomit or whatever the interrupter was saying just now. Oh, right. So, with that said, alright guys and gals, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. So, until then guys and gals, rock it on.
Well played, interrupter. Well played.
You know what? Yeah. Well played, Leinad. Well played.